Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals at your service. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. Big news today. We are live on location at Nebraska Crossing, and we'll talk more about that in a moment, but I want to bring on my co-host, a man who is legendary in his real estate and radio prowess, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jeff.
Well, good morning. It was a big week, and we want to talk a little bit about the College World Series that ended on Monday. But first, let's bring on Rod Yates, the founder and owner of Nebraska Crossing. Good morning, Rod.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff and Trenton. Great having you back in your second home here at Nebraska Crossing.
We do feel like it's our second home because we have the privilege of broadcasting here live probably 4 or 5 times a year, and it's always something we look forward to. This is the premier retail outlet in the state.
Yes.
And later on, we'll talk a little bit about how it's getting even more premier.
Yeah, look forward to it.
But let's talk about this College World Series, guys. The 2023 series, which ended Monday with Louisiana State winning a national championship, drew a total of 392,000 fans. Broke the record.
Wow.
So not just in Jell-O shots, but at Rocco's, but unbelievable. I went to the first game of the 3-game finals, and that was where LSU won by 1 point, kept them in the game, and won it. And couldn't the vibe down there, and just not only in the stadium, 25,000 people in the stadium, but all around there. And as a graduate of Tulane University in New Orleans, our friendly rival was LSU. But when it comes to the College World Series, even if LSU's not in the big dance, they bring fans like none other. And when they're in it and they win in an extra game, it's just on fire downtown, and all of Omaha benefits.
Rod, you were saying this might be the best College World Series yet, and I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, I kind of what I noticed this year is it seemed like the teams are really stacked with major league talent, and it seems to me with the transfer portal, we're going to start seeing maybe a dozen power teams in college baseball, which is going to be phenomenal for Omaha to get those power teams playing in here in the tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch because college baseball seems to be getting more and more popular. Well, we want to go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. You can find them in person at 114th and Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. First up on the news, we've got tower cranes that are going up on the mutual, not going up, they're up, Trenton. Tower cranes are already in place. And so we can expect to see vertical construction happening pretty soon. Nice little piece of economic development news that we have got our hands on this week. There is a project called Silicon Heartland. It's a consortium of tech companies that are looking for a place to build a microchip plant, a semiconductor plant, a computer chip plant, whatever you want to call it. But it would actually be a series of technology facilities. The most likely site, if we get this, would be the Inland Port mega site, which is under development, early stages, at Fremont. But there's also talk that we could have something like this in North Omaha or even Bellevue.
Do you remember like 20 years ago we were competing for a chip plant?
Micron?
Yeah, very good, good, Jeff.
Yeah, I think that was more than 20 years ago. I bet that was in the 90s, mid-90s.
So with the legislative, and it's both state and national legislation, right?
Yeah. So basically what happened is the Biden administration is trying to push semiconductor manufacturing in the United States in order to not be so dependent on Asia, given the Chinese problems. And then the state of Nebraska passed some incentives this year which make it advantageous for those companies to come here. Plus, the state of Nebraska passed a bill giving Metro Community College funding to do specialized training for people that would work in these plants.
And these are jobs that pay a lot of money, which is great. And bring it onshore. I'm all for it.
Yeah, it'd be a good thing if we get it, and we'll know probably in 2024. It'd be possibly up to 3,000 jobs. All right, Southwest Airlines will begin new seasonal nonstop service on Saturdays between Eppley and Fort Lauderdale. That would be beginning January 13th. That means that Southwest will now fly 13 nonstop locations out of Omaha. That continues to get better and better. Last week, Trenton, when I wasn't here, I know you talked about the canopy construction project at Epley. And then, of course, we are awaiting the start of the $600 million terminal project.
Yeah, and I think it was like $54 million or something for the canopy project. And that's over and above the $600 million. That's really transforming the airport into one giant long terminal.
And then we are, like I said, right here at Nebraska Crossing. We're actually sitting in the space that within the next week or 2 weeks will become B&G's legendary brand in Omaha. And we're getting everyone excited about that project. And we're going to look forward to the resurgence and the return of a famous Omaha brand. And let's see, Rod, let's talk about this a little bit right now. And
we're
then
bringing
we'll bring
Dodge Street to Gretna.
Yeah, then we'll bring on Nick Bartholomew in here in a minute.
Yeah, I think part of one of our goals for 2023, and we're off to a really good start, is we wanted to change the food scene within Nebraska Crossing. So we got to know Nick pretty well last year, and Nick's going to get involved here with B&G's. He bought the rights to the brand, and we look forward to getting him opening. We're going to build a drive-through for him to make it really convenient and easy for our customers, and Nick's going to do a phenomenal job for us.
Well, we're looking forward to it. We're going to take our first break of the hour, and when we come back, we're going to have Nick come on the show, and we're going to learn about this new location of B&G's. But that is the end of your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. When we come back, we'll talk with Nick, and we're going to talk about a couple of other new food concepts here at Nebraska Crossing. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot at your service. We're brought to you by D&M Roofing and Siding and Dingman's Collision Center.
Dingman's Collision Center is a family-owned business. The Dingmans, actually, that's their real name. And I have taken my cars there too often, but they do a great job. I also hang out with them socially, so it's not always about the cars. But I know that when I need mechanical work or collision work, I go to one of the 4 locations, and dingmans.com is where you start.
Well, we are live on location at Nebraska Crossing, Interstate 80 and Highway 31 in beautiful Gretna. A lot of things happening out here at Nebraska Crossing, and the first thing we're going to highlight right now is the return of a famous Omaha restaurant brand. I know, Trenton, when you and I were going to high school at West Side in the mid-1980s, we would have these things called open mods. Remember open mods? That's when we could leave campus and go get lunch or whatever. And when I was at West Side, one of my favorite places to go get lunch, and you can only do that as a junior and senior, so as a sophomore we had to sneak out. But I would go to B&G's Tasties over on Dodge. When it went away, a lot of people were sad, but it's coming back, and we have with us the owner, Nick Bartholomew, who is resurrecting that brand. Going to be here at Nebraska Crossing. Nick, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Good to have you here. So give us a little background as to how B&G's is coming back to life.
Yeah, it's an Omaha favorite. So it really was something that was an easy decision once we heard that it was kind of having some trouble, and the owner had kind of, felt that it was time for him to do more other work. And so when I approached Eddie, the last owner of B&G, we started having that conversation about what it would take for B&G to come back, what we could do to kind of resurrect it. Was Beverly Hills Plaza the right spot for the resurrection? And so those conversations progressed. Eddie stepped back. We purchased B&G outright with the group of investors, and ever since, I think it was right before the pandemic, we've been kind of masterminding its return and figuring out, the strategy behind the return of an Omaha classic.
So here at Nebraska Crossing, it's going to be on the northwest corner of the center.
Correct.
And Rod, you've even installed it like a patio and a drive-through lane. It's the former local space for people who are familiar with what used to be here.
Yeah, no, the drive-through I think was a pretty good idea, because I think that'll easily add another $1 million in sales volume to the Nick's brand here, and that was an easy fix for us to get done. And I think as you look at people coming home from work, it's just super easy when you got a car full of kids to just pull through the drive-through and buy your dinner for the night. So we're looking forward to having Nick have a really great customer experience for us.
And Nick, how will this restaurant be similar or different from the original B&G's menu?
Tall ceilings for one.
It definitely has taller ceilings.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a great question. I mean, I think really the iconography that goes along with B&G and the loose meat sandwich is something that's, historical. And, as of right now, the class of 73 at Westside has already booked some part of their reunion to come back here, and we're making them shirts and kind of getting them involved. So really, that's the basis for everything, is what Omaha's past was. I think that the new generation really isn't as caught up on what a loose meat sandwich is as the older generation was. So we have some surprises for them. We're doing a chopped cheeseburger, for example, that kind of is a play for the 21st century on a B&G that I think that'll draw. The B&G might bring you, but the chopped cheese is going to keep you. The ice cream is all new. We have an alcohol-based ice cream and a regular-based ice cream, so Dad can enjoy a bourbon caramel soft serve cone while the kids can order a sundae. And so I think that really the pieces that we're putting around what B&G meant to the community and the menu that we're bringing to it and kind of installing around it is going to be really what propels it forward.
I have fond memories of B&G, and especially I have to give a shout out to my old friend Joe McAllister. And Joe McAllister was a special guy that went to Westside High School, and I met him through a group called Peer Advocates. And people that were regulars at B&G will remember Joe McAllister. He was a guy who was a busser. He'd clean tables, and more importantly, he would play fake catch with the kids and cops and robbers. And he was just a really, really neat guy and a happy guy. And the McAllister family got him employed over there and did a great job. And everybody loved Joe at B&G. And so we're excited to see this come back to life.
Nick, I'm looking here at this space that within the next week or two will be B&G's, and I see a window. We have the drive-through in the back, but I see a serving window out to the pedestrian part of Nebraska Crossing. Will you be putting ice cream through a walk-up window?
Absolutely. So that's kind of our niche, to fit in with all the other great businesses here at the Crossing and kind of serve the public who may not know what B&G is or want to head to Gap or Nike or wherever their destination is. The window is, an opportune way for them to kind of grab some quick service stuff. If they want the ice cream, if they want a quick French fries, if they want something that is on that express menu, they can get their number, they can stay in the mall, they can still enjoy what the mall has to offer, but they can submerge themselves as much as they want in the B&G experience and hopefully hook them for a later visit.
Well, Rod, B&G's is not the only new restaurant concept coming to Nebraska Crossing. We're also going to have a little bit of taste of New York City coming up here.
Yeah, Matt, I think has developed a reputation for having the best pizza in Nebraska, and I had a chance to eat at Matt's restaurant quite a bit over the last year and got to know Matt, and we convinced Matt to come out here and be part of it. Pizza was a miss for us in the center, and Matt's going to do a heck of a job.
We're talking about Frank's Pizza that
yes.
Omahans know and love.
Matt's the owner of Frank's Pizzeria. So, yeah, it's a big win for us, and Matt's a great operator, and he's going to do big things for us out here. And
we happen to have Matt Halligan with us right now. And so, Matt, tell us about what Frank's Pizzeria is going to be like out here in Nebraska Crossing.
So, hey, first and foremost, thanks for having me on, guys. This is really cool.
Our pleasure.
So, and of course, we've confused everyone right away because, my name is Matt, but I own Frank's Pizzeria. And, I always tell people that I might as well just go by Frank because everybody comes in and calls me Frank. Frank was the name of the father-in-law of the original owner. And that was actually based in Brooklyn. It was actually a Brooklyn pizzeria. In fact, we actually recently, we went out to New York. We went out to Brooklyn and we visited that original location. And it's actually in like a very Italian part of New York.
Very cool.
It's really, really neat because it was like something right out of The Sopranos. There were actually people standing around speaking Italian.
And opera music playing in the background.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
Is it still a pizza place?
No, actually, it's a little Italian coffee shop. And, I've told this story before, so some people might have heard it, but, we actually went in there to look at the space, and there's a little Italian lady behind the counter, and we walk in, and, we're looking around, and, she doesn't speak any English, and she's, what can I get you? And I told her, I said, we're just looking around. It used to be a pizza place. And she's like, no pizza, only coffee. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It used to be a pizza place. And so now she's getting frustrated. She's like, no pizza, only coffee. And we ended up just, okay, thank you very much. Well, I'll tell you, and it's really neat because we went to a pizza place that was just down the street from it, and it turns out the guy that owned that pizza place was there. We were talking to him. He opened up his pizza place because he'd gone to the original Frank's and loved it so much, and he was part of the neighborhood, and so he opened up his place as kind of an honor to Frank's. And when I mentioned that I actually owned Frank's in Omaha, Nebraska, of course, he's like, Omaha, Nebraska? How the hell did you end up there? So, I mean, it's really cool because, I mean, we're really submerged in that New York culture. And as somebody who's not from New York, it's very interesting for me, right? I've kind of got that. I'm born and raised in Omaha, right?
But you're kind of like an honorary New Yorker now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I try to be, right? I don't know if I'm worthy, right? But I can definitely tell you that from a pizza perspective, we definitely still do it right. We still make that dough by hand every day. We still hand grind tomatoes to make our pizza sauce. And trust me, my employees are begging me, can we please get a blender, food processor, anything? And I tell them, I said, no, you got to keep grinding those tomatoes. That's how Frank made the sauce. That's how we make the sauce. We still make our own Italian sausage. We still make our own ground beef. I mean, we're not kidding around. It's good, real pizza.
And it's nice that we can have a taste of New York at Frank's rather than having to actually go to New York because I have no desire.
As lovely as the city as it was, believe you me, I'll take the interstate over the subway any day.
Yeah. So we're talking with Matt Halligan, owner of Frank's Pizzeria. Now, where in Nebraska Crossing is Frank's, and when do you approximately plan to have an opening date?
So we are on the opposite end of the plaza here from where the B&G is, over by the Under Armour, across from the Hanes store, and we're optimistic about being open next Friday. So a week from yesterday.
So both Frank's and B&G's Tasty Foods should be open here within the next week or two, it's looking like. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, but don't worry, I don't anticipate any kind of fighting, right? We're opposite sides of the plaza, different products.
And it's pizza, it's Tasties, they're two different things.
Now, I'm waiting for the first customer to get a loose meat sandwich and come over to Frank's and say, hey, can you put this on a pizza?
Why not?
It's going to happen, I guarantee it. It always happens.
So, but you've been on a tear lately. I mean, you've been growing like crazy because what is this going to be, like your fifth location?
So this is our fourth. And then
okay.
We've got our fifth location actually opens in Bellevue.
Yeah.
In the alley, which is the old Leopard Lanes. We're actually taking over their food operations and then using that as kind of a Frank's hub for delivery and pick up and dine in as well. And it's going to be a really fun thing because we get to kind of grow our menu past just pizza. We'll do hamburgers and Phillies, and your standard bowling alley fare there. But yeah, we really have, because I mean, we just opened our Capitol Street store. That was 2 months ago.
Just in time for the series.
We not quite as close to the blade as local was, but we were very lucky that we were able to throw that together quickly and get open, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was so cool to be so involved in the World Series, a big Omaha tradition, right? And something that I have only ever attended, never got to be a part of like that, so that was really cool. And the number of players I met, I mean, I lost track. The first one came in, and I'm like, whoa, this is cool. By the time the 10th guy came in, I'm like, yeah, I've met the whole team.
You're like, yeah, so you're a first-round draft pick. Who cares?
I will tell you the coolest thing we had down in Capitol, we were open for Berkshire Hathaway, and it was really neat that Bill Murray stopped by. And what an experience that was.
Awesome.
Cannonball coming. No, wait, that's my Bill Murray my Bill Murray line. So, Rod, getting these two restaurants, and we'll talk about additional restaurants coming here after the news, but give us an idea about how this changes the feel and the culture of Nebraska Crossing.
Yeah, I think what the missing link for us was having a number of food options for our customers. So we typically have people come in, and about dinner time they'd head home from their shopping experience. So what we wanted to create is an experience where they had 5-6 food options where they could stick around for dinner and do a little more shopping after dinner. And these guys, Matt and Nick, are going to crush that for us, and I look forward to getting them open here really soon.
Well, we're going to take a break for the news here in a moment, but when we come back, we're going to be talking with Eric Berg, who is the owner of Dragon Walk, and about a couple other little restaurant items out here. Plus, we're going to talk to Rod about big changes that could be coming to this area around Nebraska Crossing that we're referring to as a district. So all of that and more, you're listening to Grow Omaha. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid were brought to you by D&M Roofing and Siding and Dingman's Collision Center. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live on location at Nebraska Crossing, and I don't know about Trenton, but I think I just died and went to heaven. During the break, Nick Bartholomew, the owner of B&G's Tasty Foods, which opens here at Nebraska Crossing in the next week or so, brought out a Tasty and fries, and it was like going back in time, like a back in Dodge, but in a more modern upscale location than the old one was. And then there's new menu items right now. Don't know if we should admit this or not. We're having bourbon ice cream. It is so good. Anyway, this is Grow Omaha. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. Of course, D&M Roofing and Siding is your choice for any commercial or residential roofing needs. So, Rod, we were talking about B&G's Tasty Foods coming here very soon, Frank's Pizzeria. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, we last year we brought in Eric Bergt into the center with his Dragon Walk concept, and I think already Eric's our top revenue-producing restaurant. I think he'll do $2 million this year, and hopefully Matt and Nick can challenge him for that volume. But Eric came into this kind of like on a complete cold call. Mayor Evans was good friends with him, so we kind of teamed up on Eric and got him to build out here. So then Eric gets more involved in the ecosystem and what we're doing, and now he's got a number of new concepts he's bringing to Nebraska Crossing, and I'll let Eric walk you through some of those, but I think everybody's going to be excited for what Eric's bringing to Nebraska Crossing.
Well, all right, Eric, welcome back to the show. We interviewed you when you first opened Dragon Walk here, but let's hear about some of the new things.
So I guess just overall, with all the development that's going on out here, one of the focuses was how do you feed the people? I mean, millions and millions of people are going to be coming out here, right? You have to feed them with something. Like Rod mentioned before, you don't want them to go out shopping or doing all that, and they have to go someplace else to eat, right? So what we do, September we opened Dragon Walk. Brought the best Chinese food in the state out here for everybody. Now you move forward, you got B&G, iconic brands, Frank's Pizza, iconic brands opening up. But that's just the beginning, right? You got to do more. You just got to blow this place apart, right? So first and foremost, but what do you want to do that? You don't want to do that with regular restaurants you have down the street, right? You want to make this a food destination in Nebraska, right? This is already the best mall in America, in Nebraska, but you also want to bring the best food here as well. So we're going to bring new concepts. The first one's going to be Jamba Juice.
Yeah, baby.
Very, very exciting. Obviously, well known, especially in your coastal states. Fresh. Everything's fresh with Jamba Juice. That's what I love about them. It follows the Dragon Walk motif. Everything cut fresh and fresh smoothies and all that sort of thing. Just delicious. They also have great snacks, waffles, and other types of things that just perfect walking around food, right? And where's it going to be located? It's going to be located right, as Rod talks about, the 50-yard line, right there at the middle of the mall. You come in the entrance, you're going to pass right by it, pick up especially in the hot months, pick up a great cold drink from Jamba Juice. The other one that's going to be, I'm sorry, you're probably going to ask, when are we looking to open this?
Yeah.
Probably looking late August, early September. That's our focus right now. Of course, with supply chains and everything like that, we'll see what happens, but that's our focus there. The other really, really cool one, new to Nebraska, it's called Kong Dog. It's going to be a Korean Korean corn dog concept. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Have you? Okay, right. So you take an all beef hot dog, put it on a stick, but now instead of just putting in your standard batter, you're going to put in the sweet batters, the spicy batters, the really cool stuff. You're also going to surround it with potatoes and other cool things. It's already on a stick, really easy to eat, really great walking around food. Now you're going to pair that with a delicious dipping sauce, and you're going to hit it out of the park.
And where's that going to be located in an opening date?
That's awesome. That's going to be directly across the path over here, right on the 50-yard line across from Jamba Juice. So we're gonna put Jamba Juice and Annie Ann's together. Those just merge real well together. So you can still get your pretzel, obviously, and your ice cold drink. And then across the way you'll have your Kong dog, and we got an added bonus there too. We're going to put in a Rita's Ice over there.
Oh, cool. Those are popular.
Yeah, people in Lincoln probably are familiar with those. It's a shaved ice drink.
It's kind of a slushy concept, Trenton.
Yeah, slushy concept. With, again, it's not your run-of-the-mill syrups that you're going to get at any ballpark or outside your stadium type of thing. It's just really delicious ice drinks.
I like my ice shaved too.
And then when do you think that'll open?
That's actually going to be going in the existing space where Annie Ann's is. So Annie Ann's has to move out. So maybe hopefully a month and a half after that.
Okay, so pretty quick. Okay, so great stuff, Rod. I mean, the restaurant thing just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah, we had Drew Brees on the show back in March when we grand opened Yeti, and Drew's just a phenomenal advocate of Nebraska and Nebraska Crossing, and he's got another restaurant concept. We announced Walk On Sports Bistro back in March, so we're under design to get that open. Eric and Drew are going to partner up in operating that restaurant. And then Drew had another concept. If you haven't seen it, you got to see his video. It's called Small Sliders, and it's this little 1,000-square-foot small sliders place with fries that we're going to build into the restaurant scene here as well. So Drew's been a big advocate, got a lot of ideas and neat ways he's going to add into the ecosystem culture here, and we look forward to having him with us as well.
Eric, my business partner is Trenton Maggot. Yours is Drew freaking Brees.
We're the same level, actually.
Yes. Both Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
I'd rather have you, Trenton. Don't you worry a bit.
Thanks, man.
But
I can feel it.
But Drew Brees is pretty cool to have as a business partner, for crying out loud. So, Rod, big stuff on the horizon here. The unicameral this spring passed the Good Life Transformational Projects Act, and that could be applied to many, many blockbuster projects in the state of Nebraska, but one that we care about a lot today is your plans right here in Nebraska Crossing. Give us an idea about what could be coming down the pike.
Yeah, I mean, we're halfway through the year. July 1st, it feels like it's been already a full year for us, but there's a lot of great work done by people like Governor Pillen, Senator Linehan, the Revenue Committee that put this bill together. And the bill isn't just for Nebraska Crossing. I want to say that first. This bill is available for any community developer across the country or across the state that's interested in doing some kind of unique destination development. So that's going to be a phenomenal tool to see major economic development and growth. But here in Gretna, what we wanted to do, the bill, you can go up to 2,000 acres. We probably will look for somewhere around 2,000 acres in our expansion. But there's kind of 5-6 things that we had in mind from day one when the bill was being drafted. Is we really wanted to change youth sports, really build the Dallas Cowboys a sports academy. Jeff, you had the opportunity to tour one of those with me on the East Coast a couple weeks back. So we're going to announce them here in the very near future this month that they're going to come. And they'll be built on 250 acres. There'll be 25 outdoor fields, 450,000 square feet of indoor sports facilities. And this is going to be so high end. When you come in all across the country for national tournaments here, they have a spa in there. So mom and dad can get facials and spa treatments while their kids are participating in events. So this will be second to none. I always call it the Dallas Cowboys of youth sports facilities. But
what does Drew Brees call it?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't heard that one yet.
Not the New Orleans Saints.
The New Orleans Saints of youth sports facilities.
Yes, we could go with that route. But the first thing, like if that was one of our dominant areas, there's a guy down in Kansas City when I did Legends. It's been a longtime friend of mine named Rob Heineman. And Rob is the owner of Sporting KC, the Major League Soccer team. So Rob had a great vision for youth sports academies, and we had him come up to Nebraska and be a partner in this. So he's going to own and operate it. Like I said, he's going to be built on 200, 300 acres. And a few of the other things we wanted to do is we wanted to focus on health and wellness. So we partnered up with Tony Robbins, and we're going to build this proactive preventative medicine kind of academy within the district, and that's going to be important to us to draw a lot of tourism and really focus on health. Other things like Lux, new to market retail, but really important, what I like most about what we're doing is we're going to build the first commercial fintech ecosystem in the world where in our district of 2,000 acres, you're going to be able to earn cash back at all our users, whether you lease an apartment from us or you go to one of our hotels or you use the sports academy. Everybody who participates out here, you're going to earn cash back in a big ecosystem district format that's going to be second to none, never been done before. And I'm really looking forward to the consumers adapting that platform.
And really fast, you said apartments, renting over apartments. So you're thinking about having a residential component in this new expansion, possibly?
I think you have to, Jeff. Yes, I think we're going to have 10,000 people working in the district, and it'd be a big miss or error on our part if we didn't have some housing components here. So I can easily see us building 3,000 apartments out here, 1,000 hotel rooms. I know there's a couple corporate relocations, out-of-state corporate relocations we're working on. Those are going to come into the district and create thousands of jobs. So we have to be really focused on residential and bringing a lot of apartments and things like that into the district.
Well, before we go to our break, we do want to have our Noddle Companies commercial real estate development spotlight. Noddle Companies is based here in Omaha, doing projects nationwide and several here in the metro area. One of those is the Steel Ridge project. And if you've driven by Steel Ridge, this is a development that is on the southeast side of Interstate 80 as it cuts through that border between Papillion and Gretna. And right there, construction has started on a new Kia dealership, H&A Kia. And so if you've seen some steel structure in that area, it's probably that Kia dealership. And we thank Noddle Companies for being a sponsor to the show. We are going to take a break, our final break of the hour. And when we come back, we have the Turner Construction Lightning Round. Got a few little restaurant announcements for you. And then we're going to ask a couple more questions to Rod Yates about what could be coming down the pike here at Nebraska Crossing. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. Back in a moment. News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot are live on location at Nebraska Crossing, Interstate 80, Highway 31 in Gretna. We're actually in the future B&G's Tasty Food Space, which opens up pretty soon. A lot of other new restaurants coming here that we were talking about. We'll have a couple more things, but first, it's the Turner Construction Lightning Round. Turner Construction is building Omaha, building Nebraska, and doing a great job of it. Many big projects, medium projects, little projects, they do all of it. But the company is deep. It's got a huge bench, been around for a long time, resources all around the world, and so they can bring all of those to you and your local project here. We thank Turner Construction for making the Lightning Round possible. A couple quick things. Wine, Beer, and Spirits plans to open its 5th store by the end of July in the former Wooden Windmill Steakhouse in Fremont. They're also planning 3 more stores in the Omaha area that will be built from the ground up, 30,000 square feet. They should make one of them right here in the Nebraska Crossing District. Big Red Neighborhood Grill and Bar has opened at 154th and Ida. Trenton Good Sense is coming back with a vengeance. They just signed with a franchisee to do 10 locations in the west side of the metro.
That was very surprising to me because you don't hear about that brand very often, and that's very aggressive.
10 of them. That's a lot of Mr. Good. I guess it's not Mr. Good Sense anymore. It's just Good Sense now. And congratulations, congratulations to Coneflower Creamery for winning the title of Best Ice Cream Shop in the United States of America by Yelp. Good for them.
So that's pretty impressive. And I got to check my Yelp reviews because I want to see if you and I are the best radio hosts in America. And that's saying something that I don't know how they figure that out, but coneflower is some good eating.
That's pretty cool. Well, we're here with Rod Yates, the owner and founder of Nebraska Crossing. And Rod, we were talking a little bit about these big plans for this district, this area that Nebraska Crossing will anchor that will be far bigger than Nebraska Crossing. There are a lot of moving parts and pieces here. This is a huge, complicated project. What are we talking about for timeline where someone driving by might notice the first signs of construction? Is that still a couple of years or less?
No, you see site work happening right now. And our first building will go vertical and open September of next year. So there's a lot of great things in the works. So we've been working, when the bill kind of started its infancy early on, we then started working on users to be part of it. And so we've got a lot of momentum on about 1 million square feet of users we want to bring in the district. And then one thing in the sports and entertainment that's pretty interesting to me is that Jack Nicklaus, we all know the famous golfer, he's got a design company that's run by a guy by the name of Jim Lippy. So Jim Lippy was up here for 2 days with us on Monday, Tuesday, phenomenal guy, but he does all the design work for Jack Nicklaus courses. Our thought is again, one of the thoughts in the bill is we want to drive a lot of tourism to Nebraska. So we had Jack Nicklaus and Jim come up and look at building a PGA golf course with us into this district that will be eligible and available for PGA tournaments to come and play here. And so they're working on that. So that'll be announced here fairly soon, I think. And in addition to that, they're going to build a par 3 course for people who are kind of beginning golfers. There'll be a 10-hole par 3. And then they're also going to design in kind of food and beverage putt-putt concept. So golf and kind of that sports and leisure is a big part of the district here, and I think we want to have all these venues that draw people from all over the Midwest, and really is what part of this bill is about, is bringing tourism in.
I can't imagine if we get this 7-mile lake here, on top of this. That doesn't even include this.
Exactly.
Wow, that's all Gretna.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, when we talk to users, we talk about that lake a lot, and everybody's in love with the idea of that being built in kind of our vicinity here in the district. So that's a great win for the state.
Gretna already is, if not the fastest growing city in Nebraska, it's got to be one of them. With all of this stuff and where it's strategically located, Gretna, Nebraska, someday will have over 50,000 people in it.
Yeah, it'll be the 3rd largest city in the state, for sure. I think that's where it's headed. That's the trajectory, and I think it's great for the community.
Well, so Rod, so much when we heard coverage of that bill when it was going through the legislature was on big name national retailers, and that's certainly going to be a part of it too. Tell us a little bit about what your plans are for the retail component of the expanded Nebraska Crossing district.
Yeah, great point, Jeff. So a big part of what I think the legislative folks wanted to see was the brands you see in Minneapolis and Denver, Chicago, Dallas. They wanted those to be brands that we brought into Nebraska, new-to-market brands. And so I think we've got, last count, 32 new-to-market retail brands coming in, some of them hard goods, some electronics, some soft goods stuff. But that's really important to us, is that we don't want to replicate everything that's been built. We want a lot of new-to-market things. So I think we're up to 32 new-to-market brands we're bringing into this district that I think everybody's going to love to shop. And they don't have to go to Kansas City or Minneapolis anymore. They can come right here in Nebraska Crossing.
You've already done it here, obviously.
Yes. Yeah, we got a ton of new-to-market stuff here. So we're leveraging that. I think we have a phenomenal soft goods presentation here. And I think if we can add the hard goods presentation with new-to-market, we're going to continue to accelerate.
And before we even see construction of anything new started, you also have Athleta coming and joining the current existing Nebraska Crossing property.
Yeah, they're going to open up, I think, in late July. So we're about 30 days out now. And boy, that was one of our top requested brands to be in here. And we're going to create a little bit of we call it a women's district maybe, where we'll have some of those really female-focused retail that we're going to build around Athleta in that district there. So we got some 3 or 4 new-to-market retail we're talking about complementing Athleta in the center. So it's going to be pretty neat for the customer.
So how are REI and Yeti we're out of time. We're going to have to save that one. Okay. Just when I asked the question, the music started playing. So we are out of here. This has been great. We're in the future B&G's Tasty Foods, opening soon. Rod Yates, thanks for hosting us.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
That's it for this week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggin.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, D&M Roofing and Siding, and Turner Construction. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.